This is a great movie that is highly appreciated. This world has a bunch of people. They can be in the dream of robbing your secret. You just think you are dreaming without knowing it. Those people are those who steal dreams. Cobb is a master who steals dreams. That day he received a mission to steal business secrets from the man named Saito. Cobb calculated a plan for the two-story dream realm. That is, in the dream, he continues to go into another dream. Dream in the dream is the second dream. The success rate on this layer is therefore higher, but this time it was banned. Saito is a peak tycoon. In the dream he is still conscious, not being deceived. So the two-story dream realms of Cobb were destroyed. Now they have to quickly wake up Arthur. But Cobb still wants to try more. That miserable instead of the dream of Cobb there was always people breaking in. It was the lost wife of Mal. Cobb despite still trying to break into Saito's safe. Quick, Cobb has opened his dual safe. But after opening, the wife led Saito, controlling Arthur, forcing him to hand over the document. Saito also actually knows they are sleeping, also forced to say the one who hired him. Death in the dream will wake up, but Mal knew the pain could kill people. Cobb knew that, immediately shot and killed Arthur to wake him up, and he stayed to fight alone. Arthur is the one who builds the dream structure to wake up, so the dream world quickly collapsed. Cobb inside the dream also quickly got confidential documents. Outside, Arthur knows so quickly wakes up, but this Cobb is too fast asleep, so he had to throw him into the water tank. Cobb finally regained back to the first dream layer. Because Saito knew it, Cobb should play mind games. Directly holding a gun threatened Saito to say secret, but in the real world the anesthetic is about to end. The boy takes his hand to listen to the music cue. Cobb pressures Saito, but he definitely didn't say. It turned out that everyone began to wake up. In the real world, everyone is on a train. Cobb and colleagues this time have failed. They want to run far away from the flight. Every time he wakes up, he will have to spin the top. If it topples down, which is in the real world, and it kept spinning, still in a dream. Okay, now escape is the most important. The Cobb helicopter is also arranged, but they underestimate Saito. Don't you guys want to run? Go away and see you off. Cobb and just sit in and wait for death. Unexpectedly, Saito looked at their talent to steal dreams. I have an extremely obnoxious opponent. You guys help me destroy his company. Then I will ignore some people. Saito also promised to help eliminate the wanted warrant. Cobb agrees. The task is to implant the idea in the rival company's brain. Want to let him wake up will destroy his own company. This task is extremely difficult. Cobb knows a trick that can complete this task. That is to realize the three-story dream. That is to dig deep into the last time of the subconscious. In it, implanting him to break up the company. But to do this, Cobb needs a dreamer who has a strong spirit. Quick, Cobb, he went to the University of Architecture. Meet my father as a professor teaching here. Please introduce him to a great student. As a result, he introduced to Cobb Ariadne student. A person is capable of drawing sublime maze in a short time. Cobb immediately put her into his dream. Say that in the dream she could create everything. And it can also make everything explode like this. This is in the dream of Cobb so he can destroy them. When she woke up, Ariadne he felt unexpectedly dreamed. Moreover, 6 minutes in real life will be equal to dream 2 hours. Now Cobb put Ariadne into a dream for 5 minutes. Allow her to create everything. Ariadne is a new hand, but the first time showed her talent. She kept meeting the whole city. In just a moment, heaven and earth turned upside down. But Cobb is a bit bewildered, because the level of architectural repair like this is too large. Will make the subconscious of the invaded person feel too much architecture, causing the subconscious of Cobb began to fight back. As expected, in the dream, a crowd of people surrounded them, trying to pull Ariadne out. A woman came out from those people. Stabbing the knife, he immediately woke up Ariadne. That is the dead wife of Cobb. She occasionally still in a dream and broke him. Cobb also awakened the cold body. The first thing he did was to spin the top. When it stopped, he exhaled. This spin is the totem of the dreamers. Through the testing, you know you're in reality or in a dream. To plan more successfully, to find Eames' friend, a forger, in a dream can turn into anyone he wants. And adding more powerful sedatives, to have a deep sleep to the point of 3 dream layers. That is Yusuf friend. He even had a sleep farm. People come here to get into the dream of heaven. Very quickly, the team was enough. Saito sets the goal to break this time is Fisher. Fisher's father was about to die. Fisher will try to take over the family's business. But if this name gains the oil empire, he would almost act as a gasoline owner. Gasoline prices in the world will increase forever. Fisher has an uncle named Browning. Eames will pretend to be his name in the dream of cheating Fisher. Ariadne now has designed the space of the 3-layer dream. Cobb also knew the relationship between father and son Fisher was intimate. Not good. So they will focus on fixing the relationship of these two father and son. On the first dream layer, he will implant him the thought of not wanting to follow his father. The second dream layer will make Fisher want to create his own career. And the last layer is implanted into the father's thought that he wanted Fisher to be his own man. This plan is great, but 3 layers of dreams will be extremely unstable. Only a small mistake will collapse immediately. And the time on each layer will increase multiple. In real life, 10 hours in the first layer is 1 week, corresponding to 6 months in the second dream, and all 10 years with the third layer of the dream. After the task is completed, everyone will wake up by kicks. It is falling like this. They will use music to signal the time to return to each layer. After finishing all, the opportunity has finally come. Fisher's father died. He had to take a plane to the US for the funeral. The flight process will last for 10 hours. So that is also their action time. and Saito also participated in this dream operation. After boarding the plane, Cobb put sedative in the cup of water, successfully made Fisher coma. 6 people hurriedly took out the dream machine, together to connect to go into the dream of Fisher. The first dream layer is a rainy day, as heavy as a stormy rain. The whole group quickly gathered on one car, quick robbery one taxi, then used this taxi to kidnap Fisher easily. Unexpectedly, Fisher was also trained. In his sleep, there was always a defense army to attack the thieves of dreams. The two sides fought fiercely, making Fisher's dream stealing unexpectedly difficult. Saito unfortunately was hit by bullets. After a gun battle, they hide into an abandoned factory. This time, Arthur was discovered. Fisher has been trained in mind to prevent the thief of the dream. Saito was hit by bullets but could not wake up, because this time they used too strong a sedative. If anyone dies in the dream, will fall in limbo. Limbo is an extremely scary dream space. That place is the shore of the subconscious. The speed of real time is up to 100 times. 10 hours in limbo, enough for people to die fake in it. When waking up, it will become a dumb person. So they are required to complete the task as quickly as possible. Now they can only go on, not back. So Cobb pulled out Fisher for questioning. Ask the password of Fisher's father's safe. What is the password? Fisher. Cobb asked such a question. Actually, he was implanting him that his father had a separate will. The item in it is very important. Next is Eames's performance time. Eames turned into Fisher's uncle, pretended that he was also kidnapped by the other con men. Eames cleverly led Fisher quickly to say the password, left, otherwise we will die. Fisher, still dreaming, did not understand. But anyway, what is curious inside? Eames started implanting. In the end, he gave him a die and safe. As long as Fisher agrees, he will disband the whole company. At this point, the first layer implant is considered to be completed. Fisher was dimly known that his father's will is for him to disperse the company. Do not want him to shoulder the responsibility too great. At the same time, outside, Ariadne asked Cobb about an unexpected space. Cobb just confessed. It turned out that he and Mull had been in there and was stuck for up to 50 years. There they built the world together, lived together to start. But after waking up, Mull became confused again, like a 70-year-old person living in the body of 20. She felt that she was not really awake, and always want body to wake up again, so decided to suicide. Moreover, also pulled Cobb to work together. She wrote a letter to the lawyer saying that Cobb wanted to kill her, then forced him to jump along the floor. If she died, Cobb was the culprit. Mull then jumped down and died. This is the consequence of staying too long. Cobb stayed extremely heartbreaking. After Mull's death, was wanted for Mull's murder. He looked at his children for the last time and had to run away. So Mull's death became a great wound in Cobb's subconscious. Ariadne sounded shocked but cold, because the deeper the layer, Mull will appear more. But now Fisher's subconscious has come. Cobb took the gun and threatened to kill Fisher's uncle. Fisher panically set a password. This code is definitely very meaningful to him. Outside, the dream guards started the gunfight. They can only put Fisher in the car flee and enter the second dream layer, while the guard of the security group also goes right after. The job is now more dangerous. Despite pressing the button, everyone enters the second dream layer is at a hotel. A beautiful girl has attracted Fisher's attention. Cobb has just appeared to tell the beauty to go away. This beautiful girl is actually Eames, transformed. He found a photo of Fisher and his father. Inside, Cobb said, "I was the one who defended his dream. His dream is having an intruder. Let's go with me immediately." At the same time, the first dream layer occurred a clash. The gun battle caused the rain to slap inside. At the same time, the water effect also adds to the second dream layer. This makes Fisher think it is true. Immediately believe in Cobb's words and follow him. After coming to Cobb's private room, he continued to talk. Cobb, he tried to make him think. If he happens, who is the most likely to benefit? Fisher for a moment thought. Uncle Browning is his father's right hand. If Fisher happened, then the company belonged to him. Fisher was full of doubt. The subconscious began to automatically think. At this moment, his Uncle Browning entered. This is not a fake Eames. It is the subconscious image of Fisher. Actually, Fisher thought about his uncle. Then his uncle would say that. He could not let him open the safe. If not, he will disband the company. Fisher was extremely confusing. In safe to help the game. Why do I have to disband my own company? Cobb took the chance to trick Fisher, agreed to enter the third dream layer. Want to go to Browning's dream to see what is inside? We go into his dream. Fisher immediately agreed. So Arthur stayed on the second dream layer, and others all go into the third dream. It was a mountain fortress. Fisher's father's safe is kept here. At the same time on the first layer, the dream guard caught up. The two sides occurred deep and cruelly. The time for them is not much. On the second dream layer, Arthur was also attacked by the guards. The first layer car hit the barrier strongly and flipped down. Everyone on the first layer is thrown. Make the second dream layer lose gravity. Arthur is so like having to fight in the world without weight. Finally shot dead the attackers. At the same time at the first dream layer, the car has stabilized again. And on the third layer, everyone also attacks the base. But unfortunately, the car on the first layer was stuck on the bridge railing, leading to the other people shooting fierce guns. Running out, There is no other way to wake up first. Even though I hurriedly played the music for the second dream layer, the third layer also hears music. On the first layer, the driver waited for them to plunge from the bridge. On the first layer, there are 10 seconds before colliding with water. That is, there will be 3 minutes on the second layer. And on the third layer, there will be 60 minutes to return. Thus, Cobb and his accomplices have to act quickly. While the guards were not happy to open fire, everyone is the wire to defeat these soldiers. But because the car on the first layer is falling, so in the second layer, people fall into a state of no weight. But without weight, how to make a kick? Arthur devised a way to force everyone into the elevator, then set it to explode. On the third layer, everyone also entered the base. Fisher also entered his father's safe. Suddenly, the incident occurred. Mal suddenly appeared. Mal shot Fisher and also shot Eames. Yusuf hurriedly brought the first aid, but because Fisher died, he fell into limbo space. The plan has failed? At this time, Ariadne proposed a crazy idea. At this point, continue to enter the fourth dream layer. It is also going to limbo to find Fisher, then make a kick to save him from the bottom there. More and more dangerous. Very quickly, Ariadne and Cobb went into the limbo space. A place of time passed so fast that unbelievable. On the first layer, the car is still falling. On the second layer, Arthur also installed the charge to detonate the elevator. On the third dream layer, fierce guns. That short moment, but on the dream layer 4 will have a whole day. 2 people wander around the city to find Fisher. Just finding Fisher calling him to wake up will have a chance. However, there is still a gate of Mal. Mal appeared again and began to be fascinated. See here, someone I love has my children. If you stay like that, it would be good. Cobb told the truth to Mal. They have been in this limbo space. Actually, Cobb knew, but Mal did not want to leave. Cobb agrees to stay in a transaction. Mal also only hid Fisher. At the same time, Saito on the third layer was seriously injured, also falling into the limbo space. After finding Fisher, Ariadne pushed him off the balcony, make him on the third layer wake up. At the same time at the first dream layer, the car was near the water. Arthur's second layer also exploded the elevator. On the third dream layer, Fisher also opened the safe. It turned out that inside was a father's pinwheel. His father said that he was very disappointed. Fisher tried to be him. Do not become the second father, but be yourself. Dad finished speaking, pointing to the safe. Fisher recalled the password and opened it. Inside is a pinwheel and photo of them as child. At this point, the implant of the idea is also successful. Time to wake up. On the third layer, Yusuf detonated the fortress. The second layer of the elevator explosion provided the kick. The first dream layer of the car also collided with water. Make everything on the fourth layer of limbo collapse. Ariadne hurriedly jumped down to return to the third layer. The consciousness of everyone wakes up, finally returned to the first layer. Only Cobb was stuck on the indefinitely limbo layer. After a while, Mal finally understood and disappeared. The car on the first layer was falling into the water. Everyone quickly got out of the sinking car ashore. But not Cobb, so he was still in the car. In the fourth dream layer, years later, Cobb saw himself bring him in front of an old man. The old man named Saito. He was in this limbo space for a decade. Saito spun the top, but only saw it spinning without stopping. Cobb, this is a dream. Only death can escape. The next second, Cobb shot himself to return to reality. Seeing everyone all awake on the plane, Cobb, full of passion, also saw Saito woke up from the dream for decades. Fisher has now been convinced to disband his company. Saito fulfilled his promise. Call a phone call. So, the wanted warrant was removed. Cobb walks through airport security gate. He could finally go home. When he got home, he spun the top. But he didn't wait for it to stop. He saw the 2 children. He hurriedly hugged the 2 of them while the top still spun. The movie ends. So, in the end, this is true or dream? Is it possible that the world we live in is just a fake, but in fact we are just in dreams, and our real body is sleeping for 1,000 years? The story ends here. What do you think about this movie? Leave your opinion below so I know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch my other videos. Bye!